Teshub, the Hurrian storm god, wielded thunder and lightning as weapons. Welcome to Deca Rankings. The topic for today is Top 10 Most Powerful Anatolian Gods. In the ancient crossroads of Anatolia, indigenous civilizations worshipped powerful deities who shaped the spiritual foundation of the ancient world. From the Hittite Empire to Phrygian kingdoms, these gods embodied the primal forces of nature and human existence: storms and sun, fertility and chaos, agriculture and divine motherhood. These purely Anatolian deities arose from the land itself, untouched by Greek or Persian influence, representing humanity's earliest attempts to understand divine power. Today we rank the 10 most powerful indigenous gods of Anatolian mythology, from the least to the most mighty. We will explore their domains, their sacred myths, their influence on civilization, and how these ancient powers shaped religious thought across the ancient world. Number 10. Agdistis. Agdistis, the hermaphroditic deity of wild nature and chaos, embodied the untamed forces that existed before civilization imposed order. Born from the earth goddess Cybele's union with stone, Agdistis possessed both male and female attributes, making the other gods fear this unprecedented power. The gods castrated Agdistis while sleeping, and from the severed genitals grew an almond tree, from which Attis would later be born. This violent act of divine limitation showed how even gods feared power that transcended boundaries and categories. Agdistis represented nature's raw, uncontrolled creative and destructive potential that refused domestication. In Phrygian religion, this deity symbolized the dangerous liminal spaces between male and female, order and chaos, civilization and wilderness. This hermaphroditic god embodied the ancient understanding that true divine power existed beyond human categories and comprehension. Agdistis reminded worshippers that beneath civilization's thin veneer, primal chaos still churned, waiting to break through. Number 9. Kubaba. Kubaba, the ancient Hurrian queen goddess, ruled as a powerful divine matriarch centuries before Cybele rose to prominence. Originally a human tavern keeper who became queen and was deified, Kubaba represented the possibility of mortals ascending to godhood through exceptional character. She held a mirror and a pomegranate, symbols of beauty and fertility that would later be adopted by Cybele and other mother goddesses. Her worship spread from Carchemish throughout Anatolia, with kings claiming legitimacy through her divine approval. Kubaba was protector of cities and guardian of royal authority, making her essential to political power and urban civilization. Her temples served as centers where earthly queens received training in statecraft, connecting mortal and divine rule. The transition from Kubaba to Cybele shows the evolution of Anatolian goddess worship, while maintaining core principles of maternal authority. Her legacy influenced later concepts of divine queenship and the sacred nature of female political power throughout the ancient Near East. Number 8. Telepinu. Telepinu, the Hittite god of agriculture and fertility, controlled the growth of all crops and the prosperity of the land. The famous myth of his disappearance tells how Telepinu vanished in anger, taking all fertility with him. Crops withered, animals stopped breeding, and even the gods began to starve. The entire cosmos fell into barren chaos until a bee finally found and awakened him, restoring abundance to the world. This myth explained agricultural failures, droughts, and famines as signs of the gods' displeasure requiring appeasement. Priests performed elaborate rituals to keep Telepinu content and present, believing the empire's survival depended on his continued favor. His anger was legendary. When provoked, he would don his right shoe and march away, taking all growth and life with him. The Hittites believed proper worship and moral behavior kept Telepinu among them, making ethics and agriculture inseparable. His return each spring symbolized the eternal cycle of death and rebirth in nature, offering hope that even complete desolation could be reversed through divine mercy. Number 7. Arinite. Arinite, the Hittite sun goddess of Arina, commanded the power of the sun and served as the supreme deity of the Hittite state. Unlike most ancient cultures where sun gods were male, Arinite represented feminine solar power, showing Anatolian religion's unique character. She was titled Queen of all lands and Mistress of heaven and earth, demonstrating her supreme authority over both divine and mortal realms. Hittite kings and queens claimed their right to rule directly from Arinite, making her the source of all political legitimacy. A main temple at Arina was the Hittite Empire's religious center, where the most important state ceremonies occurred. The queen served as Arinite's high priestess, creating a direct link between divine feminine power and earthly female authority. She represented the sun's life-giving warmth that made crops grow, and its merciless, scorching judgment that punished the wicked. In Hittite cosmology, Arinite's daily journey across the sky maintained cosmic order and prevented the world from falling into darkness and chaos. Number 6. Men. Men, the Phrygian and Lydian moon god, presided over time's passage, fate, and divine justice with masculine lunar power. Unlike most lunar deities who were female, men embodied the moon's mysterious authority over cosmic cycles and human destiny. He was depicted wearing a Phrygian cap with a crescent moon behind his shoulders, standing in masterful pose. His worship involved careful observation of lunar phases to determine auspicious times for important undertakings. Men controlled fate itself, granting or denying success in human endeavors based on his inscrutable will. His cult particularly emphasized oaths and contracts, with men serving as divine witness who would punish oath-breakers with terrible vengeance. Inscriptions reveal devotees swearing before men, acknowledging his power to curse those who violated sacred promises. His temples served as courts where disputes were settled and oaths administered under divine supervision, making him guardian of social trust and legal order. Men represented the mysterious power of time, the cycles governing all existence from moon phases to human lifespans to the rise and fall of empires. Number 5. Hepat. Hepat, the Hurrian Queen of Heaven, commanded supreme authority as consort of the storm god Teshub and mother of the gods. She was depicted wearing a tall cylindrical crown and holding symbols of royal authority, representing her status as divine matriarch. Hepat's worship was particularly strong among Hurrian and Hittite royalty, with queens serving as her high priestesses and earthly representatives. She presided over state ceremonies, royal marriages, and treaties between kingdoms, making her essential to political stability. As mother goddess, Hepat also protected women during childbirth and blessed marriages with fertility and harmony. Her temples served as sanctuaries where women of all social classes could seek divine protection during pregnancy and delivery. The Hittites adopted Hepat into their pantheon when they absorbed Hurrian territories, showing her universal appeal transcending ethnic boundaries. She represented the feminine power that maintained cosmic order through nurturing authority rather than violent force, offering an alternative model of divine sovereignty based on care rather than conquest. Number 4. Sabazios. Sabazios, the Phrygian sky father and horseman deity, commanded authority over both celestial and earthly realms with unmatched power. His worship originated in ancient Phrygia, representing indigenous Anatolian concepts of divine kingship before Greek or Persian influence. The Phrygians depicted him as a rider god, whose horse's hooves thundered like storm clouds across the heavens. His mysteries involved ecstatic worship, sacred snakes handled by devotees, and rituals promising personal salvation and rebirth. Unlike orderly temple cults, Sabazios demanded emotional intensity and direct mystical experience from followers. The sacred snake played central roles in initiation ceremonies, with the reptile passing through initiate's clothing, symbolizing spiritual transformation. His cult particularly attracted those seeking personal connection to divine power, rather than mere civic obligation. His raised hand blessing became one of Anatolia's most recognizable religious symbols, thousands of bronze votive hands surviving in museums today. Sabazios represented the possibility of direct divine encounter, a god who knew each worshipper personally and offered individual salvation through mystical union. Number 3. Teshub. Teshub, the Hurrian storm god, wielded thunder and lightning as weapons that could destroy cities or bring life-giving rain. He was depicted standing on a bull or riding a chariot pulled by bulls, wielding a thunderbolt and an axe to strike down enemies and chaos. As supreme weather god, Teshub controlled the rain essential for agriculture, making him both civilization's benefactor and its potential destroyer. His cult involved dramatic rituals where priests recreated cosmic battles between order and chaos, with Teshub defeating the serpent Iluyanka. This mythic combat occurred repeatedly, suggesting that order's victory over chaos required constant divine vigilance and human worship. The Hittite Empire adopted Teshub as their supreme state deity alongside Ariniti, demonstrating his power to legitimize imperial rule. Kings invoked Teshub before military campaigns, believing his storm power could scatter enemy armies like leaves before wind. His temples received the finest sacrifices, bulls, sheep, wine, and grain, as communities desperately sought to maintain his favor. Teshub represented the fundamental truth that civilization depends entirely on weather patterns beyond human control, that divine favor determines whether kingdoms feast in abundance or starve in drought. Number 2. Attis. Attis, the Phrygian god of vegetation and rebirth, embodied the agricultural cycle of death and renewal, central to Anatolian spirituality. Born from the hermaphroditic Agdistis through miraculous conception involving an almond tree, Attis became beloved of Cybele, the Great Mother. When Attis attempted to marry a mortal woman, Cybele's jealous rage drove him mad, leading to his self-castration and death beneath a pine tree. His blood soaked into the earth, and from it violets bloomed, symbolizing life emerging from death and sacrifice. Cybele mourned him desperately and begged Zeus to restore him, resulting in his resurrection and transformation into an evergreen pine tree. The annual spring festival involved days of mourning his death, with devotees working themselves into frenzy through music, dancing, and self-flagellation. On the Day of Blood, some devotees castrated themselves in imitation of Attis, becoming galley priests who served Cybele in feminine dress. The third day celebrated his resurrection as the god returned to life, bringing spring's renewal and proving that death was merely transformation leading to eternal life. Number 1. Cybele. Cybele, the great mother goddess, reigned supreme over Anatolia as the most powerful deity in the ancient world. From From her sanctuary at Pessinus in Phrygia, her cult spread across the Mediterranean, eventually conquering even mighty Rome itself. She embodied the earth's fertility, the mountain's power, and motherhood's fierce protective love. The Phrygians depicted her crowned with city walls, seated on a throne flanked by lions, representing her dominion over both civilization and wild nature. Her worship involved frenzied music with drums, cymbals, and flutes, creating ecstatic dancing and altered states of consciousness. The galley priests served her after ritual castration, living as neither male nor female, but as sacred intermediaries between human and divine realms. The spring festival included the Taurobolium, where initiates stood beneath a platform, while a bull was slaughtered above them, bathing in its blood for spiritual rebirth. A sacred black meteorite stone, believed to have fallen from heaven, was brought to Rome in 204 BCE during the crisis of the Second Punic War. Her arrival supposedly saved Rome from Hannibal, establishing her as protector of empires, and proving that even Rome's legendary military might bowed before the Great Mother's irresistible divine power. These indigenous Anatolian gods embodied the spiritual wisdom of humanity's earliest civilizations. From chaos and order to death and rebirth, from storms and sun to the Great Mother who ruled them all, they offered eternal truths about existence. Though empires rose and fell across Anatolia, these gods endured, their mysteries influencing religions across the ancient world and leaving marks on human spirituality that remain visible even today. Their temples may have crumbled and their priests fallen silent, but the power they represented, nature's fury, life's cycles, and the eternal feminine divine, continues to echo through the ages. Like this video and subscribe to Deca Rankings for more videos like this.